Please introduce yourself.
My name's Kgosi Ranoto. Friends call me Outcast.
I am Chuma, Mbotshwa, and also I'm not here by myself. I'm also present with my community within, which is Ochawa, Galega, Okauta, Oyins, Ochacha, Omtomboti, Onkosiamt, Omdang. These are the people that I'm present with in this moment. And also, I'm going to share what is my awareness of my knowing in life in terms of experiences. And yeah.
Hello. I'm Themba Jere. Uh, some people know me by my artist name, Ender's Paradise. I'm an illustrator, visual artist. I paint, I draw digitally, on canvas, on paper. Anywhere I can express myself, I try to draw something.
My name is Foro. My brand name is actually Foro Mukoloro Visual Artist. The reason why I call myself a visual artist is because of how I tell stories. I'm not an ordinary photographer, I'm a storyteller. I use my photography to tell beautiful stories, and I also use film to tell beautiful stories. I'm also a communication designer. So in my artworks, I prefer using photography as my medium and also a touch of illustration.
Okay, you talk about kind of not being able to be yourself. How would you say that art can be a form of self-expression and kind of express one's identity?
Well, I went to art school, and at first I really tried with art, thinking it was more something that I should use to benefit myself in making a career, like getting into traditional, like more workplace kind of settings when it comes to art, corporate environments and stuff. But I started realizing when it comes to self expressionism with art, it's more of a thing of for me, it was always a thing of I feel like I'm being impressed by multiple systems. I don't get the opportunity to draw what I want to draw, make music about what something that's meaningful to me. When it came to art, I always thought it's more of a opportunity for me to do what I've always wanted to, be the person I've always wanted to be, like be myself openly, regardless of how other people perceive that, whether they hate on it or whether they think it's something honestly inspiring. I'd like to think maybe I can inspire people, but like honestly, I love the hate. I love the aggression, because when I have to deal with a normie who will see my art, see the piercings, maybe some tattoos, or just things that I do to be me, and they start thinking, "Hey, I hate this. I hate the way this is." Like it makes me feel uncomfortable. I love when like just boring normal people go for that. To me, it's like it motivates me to just break the norm more and more. Make people realize you can actually be yourself regardless of like if other people like it or not. I just so when I get hate, it motivates me. It makes me think, yeah, I'm gonna start upping my game. Cause at first it was the hate for the crop top and the belly piercing. Then I thought of the tattoos. And I thought, fuck you, I'm gonna take it a step upwards. Oh, my apologies, I am. But like it was more of a thing of kind of spite. And I feel like that's the beautiful thing about art. It's self-expressionism at its fullest. It's you being able to open up and be the real you. That's something I've always considered to be like the true values of art. You can speak out about something you've always wanted to speak out about. You can spread a message of awareness, even if it's just with the way you dress. And it's something of, I want to give off this certain vibe because that's the kind of person I am at heart. I say go for it all the way. And that was always the meaning of art to me.
Do you think people in corporate are kind of trapped in the psychosis that they cannot be authentic with their art?
Yes.
Why
Yes.
do you think so?
I think because it's a money thing, like that doesn't sell. Authenticity doesn't always sell, right? Like the things that make us different don't always make the most money, right? Like I don't say not that nobody cares, but like nobody cares about your life story really. So like it's not commercial. You know, like the corporate world is very commercial. They're focused on what will make us the most money, what's going to sell, what's going to benefit the company, not the artist, like the company as a whole. So yeah, corporate people are very trapped. It's like it's soulless because like no, like I said, people don't care about your personal story. You know, especially in a corporate setting, they want money.
If you're gonna do art for corporate, at the very least, your soul has to be in that art, you know? Something about you has to be there. It can't just be a corporate amalgamation made to please a higher up or just be made to make a brand look good. It has to be something where you can sense there's a bit of that one person in their art. Something I've always considered, even with corporate art, you can see, I consider film art, right? And that's about as corporate as it gets most of the time because it's huge studios. But like the thing about it is you can still see a touch of the director, the writer's souls, everything about that in the film. And that's something I've always like thought, if it's gonna be corporate, at least let it be corporate and still be you. That's how art is authentic in my eyes.
Talking about authentic and corporate, what is your stance on corporate companies trying to move into more AI inspired, AI made art? Where do you think that could take us?
I honestly feel as though when it comes to corporate, it's all soulless. That's the thing. It's made for capitalism and the gain of money. That's the whole purpose. So, of course, it was inevitable they're going to start moving to AI. But I feel as though at some point they're going to realize it's that soullessness, the fact that AI doesn't quite have heart like human art does, you know? It's going to be that helps them realize, you know what, maybe this is why our customers are actually starting to hate us more. We're robbing people of their jobs when they could be artists. You know, I've always thought concept art for video games was something monumental. And the idea of a video game using any form of AI to recreate that feels like the very essence of the game itself is just being taken. And that's mostly how most corporate settings will go about using AI art. It's the same kind of process. The people, the teams, the human beings and the hearts and souls of people that went into that art is just kind of ripped away. The art itself is just, it feels empty, soulless, no substance whatsoever. It's just something made for mass production and so that a company can get something done as quickly as possible, instead of taking it through the process of actual artists who put everything they have into that.
Hey man, as I'm saying, AI, guys, is a neutral party. You give it data. The more data it gives you, the more it mirrors you all the time. You might say, that, oh, wow, how do you get this? No, it's the data that you feed, and that data responds to you. You know, AI is just presenting itself through the new world disorder, not new world order, you know, whereby technology is just going to be everywhere. And that if we are not fixing how we see technology, we're going to be literally sabotaging ourselves and literally caging ourselves, because the data that you give is the information about yourself. You need to pay attention on how you use this neutral party. You give it consciousness, and that it has all your products of your consciousness, and it able to speak to you, you know? So I would say, man, for the terms of the times you're moving in, it's gonna be like the new authenticity in a way.
But I don't think that the uniqueness will be completely lost because the uniqueness lies in the fact that a person made it. And nowadays, like I see on social media, people hate AI. Like you look at the comments, they're like, nah, we don't like this, we don't like AI. So I think people will always value the fact that a person did it. And I think now that's what makes it unique. The fact that a human being made it, that's where the uniqueness comes from. So I don't think it'll be lost because people will always value something human made, always. There'll always be that commodity for, did a person make this, right? So I think that's where the uniqueness will come from.
And when I come back to post production again, I find it very useful because I am then able to fast track my post production in terms of editing. Things that used to take others 45 minutes or an hour, uh, with just a click, you can get good results. But however, that doesn't really take away the authentic side of editing, because you still need to understand the skin of a person. You still need to understand few technical things that if AI doesn't do it right, then you have power to like manually then fix the problem. So I personally enjoy AI in terms of my editing, in terms of lighting, I mean Lightroom and Photoshop. Also, when I'm doing my illustration, there's a lot of plugins, there's a lot of shortcuts that I find AI really assisting me. But so all in all, efficiency is good, and also I'm able to, okay, I do run my own small business, and I'm able to um minimize the time that I used to spend. Then I'm more productive actually with AI. So I do appreciate AI, but I've never felt like it's really taking my job. No, it's still far from it, because I trust that there's more creativity when it's your own brain and you are being authentic and you're allowing yourself to expand. And I think AI also helps us just to expand. So both myself and AI are a good team. Yeah.
What do you think is more important, authenticity or making a living off of art? Because sometimes you may find that in your pursuit of authenticity, you may not perhaps make the money that can earn you a living from this profession.
So your question is, what's more important, the authenticity or making the money?
Yes, sir.
That was a good question. That is a good question. I feel like, okay, I'm going to give two answers. I feel like, firstly, it depends on your circumstance. You know, I'm going to honestly say and speak that I come from a very privileged background. So, someone with my circumstance, I'm privileged enough to pursue my authenticity. Like, for me, it's not do or die. You know, like, I have a family that I know will help me, or like, will find another way. Like, it's not do or die if I don't make it expressing my authenticity. But it's not that way for everyone. Like, some people don't have a choice. Some people, it's like, you need to, like, as an artist, if you see like this type of painting style is making money, you have to pursue that, right? Because it's not just about you, it's about your family, your background. You know, maybe you're coming from a place where you're impoverished, you don't have much. So then you have to sacrifice authenticity to provide for yourself, you know. So I would say, generally, I would hope that the answer is authenticity first, money second. But that's not the reality for everyone. So I say it depends on your circumstance. Yeah, I'll say that.
I'd say with corporate, man, it is a form of assistance because, hey, man, we in this health system. So you have to be a corporate based mind in order for you to get that certain percentage of your sustainability of your life, you know, especially as an artist, every cent matters. Every cent matters. No matter if usebenza endaweni esebarista or spanner, endaweni apho like you scan amatikiti for events or putting tickets for events, or if you are doing nail tag, if you are doing, bro, anything means a lot because the smaller it is, the become your rupee, you know. So now it's like, for me, corporate, man, it's like a form of what the world is being presented to us, you know? It's how you deal with it. It's how you direct your mind. It doesn't mean that if my boss is ego, I should be ego. I should put my soul in myself. But I shouldn't become a reactive, but I should become attentive, you know? So there's this saying that my grandma, she would tell me, she would say that I don't fear you, but I respect you. You get me? So now it's like usually people tend to react. They've killed their respect. that guy feels like he's the guy. That's why they've made us be so entitled to titles, because titles is the position that we are we are making sense as our objective reality, but truth of the matter is just a temporary title. You're not there. You're not gonna be in the office forever, because all going back to the same ground, which is the soil. So now it's like corporate, man, is literally about like how you deal with it with your mind, man. And also for me, it assists me with like the sense, man. Every sense makes sense.
So with corporate, and RC corporate do have their own agendas that they want pushed through art, and hence me kind of as an artist that's just also art and kind of do their art. But do you think that it's also important for young artists to kind of use art authenticity for them, you know, to essentially push back against those agendas and kind of raise more awareness in the type of world that we live in today?
Are you saying like using art politically,
Yeah.
like as a voice? Yeah, then I agree. You know Banksy? We're Banksy.
Thanks, you know.
You know Banksy? Banksy is the kind of artist you're describing. Banksy is a political artist, political graffiti artist, and like nobody knows what he looks like. Nobody on earth knows what Banksy looks like, but like he puts his work on random walls and buildings in London or like wherever he is to like protest against the system, you know. So yes, I do think it's important that now we do that. We have some sort of like protest art to show that we're not okay with, you know, AI taking out our jobs, or like, you know, or showing that human authenticity cannot be replaced. So yeah, I think that's necessary. Yeah.
Become the biggest fruit of my life. It started as dancing. Dance was literally the first thing that ignited my expression, because the way it also um it made people feel, like as I was doing, I used to dance, like, like whereby you say you win like a flask or something or a bag. I used to dance to those kind of things. I was literally a child of movement. And also, and that energy of dance, the way it was sparked by a lot of things. Hey man, Michael Jackson himself, I used to absorb that guy. I used to watch him. I would watch him. I would repeatedly watch him. I wouldn't be like focus on WhatsApp. I will literally say, "Oh, Michael Jackson." That's why my late uncle used to call me Michael Jackson. And Uncle Michael Jackson. That's what he used to call me. So that energy, man, is literally being there in me. But with dancing, also, it just showed me that wow, this thing of moving, it actually brings people together, because it's the rhythm that it creates in your soul, and also what it brings within your mind, and also what it expresses for you to actually be a part of, because it's a rhythm of movement. So like that's what dance itself, it opened me into. And also at the same time, also watching people dance, man. Yabona nje isipantsula, isibhutshwa, yo, Buddha, like iwewe, ingwaza, what else? Like, yeah, ikwasa. Like that was like those dance moves that are like they were so presented to me, and everything. And then until the boy had to move from the township, and then I moved to the city. So when I got introduced to hip hop, like that's where everything is like, okay, what's hip hop, and everything.
This is things because truth. Who should do you carry me? Sure.
My own, I guess, right? Like my own life experiences. But also just like young men, bro. Like I try to draw the things that I think most young people, young men, young black men go through. Uh heartbreak, loss, sorrow, greed, lust, you know. Uh yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, just like the shared truth of young men. Uh yeah, but mostly my own truth.
Your art style is very unique. where did you learn it from?
Where did I learn it? I guess like the better you get to know yourself, the more authentic your art will become, right? Because my art used to look like when I was younger, I was copying a lot of other artists that I looked up to. You know, I was copying their styles, copying their work. Like I wanted to be like them. I was emulating them. You know, but like the more you learn about yourself, the easier it becomes to create original things. So I think I just started learning about myself, bro. Like the more you go into yourself, the more you learn about yourself, the easier it is to create something that's unique, the easier it is to express yourself. So yeah. And if I had to give advice to other young artists, just learn about yourself, bro. Like, because the more you learn, the more you see what you like, you know, the way you like to draw, the way you like to paint, you know, you give your own unique view. So I would say it came from just learning myself, paying attention to what I like, what I don't like, what I think is cool.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
Thank you for your time.
Hey, telling everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we thank you for the interview and Angkor.